And welcome back to another episode of the Consistency Engine podcast. Once again, I'm Dane Patton with my good buddy, Chase Collier. How you doing today, Chase?
Doing great. Just got back from travels and have some more travels coming up here soon.
That's right. I do want to talk a little bit about your traveling and what was going on. And so, yeah, just kind of tell the audience what fun you were having here this last week.
Yeah, so this last week I went down to Charleston, South Carolina, which is a beautiful place. Weather is a little bit more stable than us here in Nebraska, but went down there for some training on business consulting side of things to learn from some very experienced people. The guy who founded Built to Exit, which is the program that we're working on, he has exited over 30 businesses himself, and he's helped many, many other people do the same thing. He also does professional speaking. I think he said when we were down there, he has spoken on over 40 stages since July.
Wow.
So he does a lot of speaking. In this team, part of my takeaway is being in the room with like-minded people. And I know we say that on repeat, but when you get people in business that have been doing it for multiple decades for some of them, and they leave their ego at the door, they are here to help. They have selflessness. They're leading with their heart. That is the group of people I want to be in front of and be learning from, because they don't have guards up. They don't have ego. They want to see the next generation do better and continue to help out small and medium-sized businesses. There's so many cool things that they're trying to do. It's not just helping businesses grow and help them exit, but we also need a voice for small and medium-sized businesses in this country. Because at some point with the boomer generation getting ready to retire, and also small and medium-sized businesses are not counted as essential workers. And small and medium-sized businesses is what runs the country. Yes, we have corporations, but it's the small and medium-sized companies that have the biggest impact to our local communities, and they need to be supported more than they are.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's one of the reasons not the reason, but one of the reasons I think that we decided to create this platform and have these conversations for those people out there that are in small businesses and just, you know, they might be hitting a ceiling or have had a plateau for a while, and just they see more, they just don't know how to get there.
Yes. And learning from other people that have either done the mistakes and got burnt, or they've just somehow picked the right path. And I will say everyone's gone through crap at some point. Like, nobody's perfect in business, and you learn from getting those scars. You either learn from mistakes and fix it yourself, or you learn from somebody else who's already done it and is helping you avoid those mistakes. But the small and medium-sized businesses, we need to stick together, because we do have so much to give to the community, and there's so much opportunity there. And kind of leading into the topic for today, because of this, because it relates to me almost every day, is you do not get the life that you want to live. You get the life that you're committed to. And every time I travel, every time I open up a book or have a conversation with somebody, it's because I am committed. I want to put the action in. It's not just that I want to be successful or want to have X, Y, and Z. It's that I'm committed to.
Yeah, and that's exactly why when, you know, that was the topic we're talking about, and I wanted to open up with your travels and what you're doing, because you're committed to getting better. And I'm the same way. I'm committed to getting better every single day in with the actions that we take. So, you know, does it throw a little chaos into the schedule to leave our city, leave our state, travel multiple states away, be gone for a few days from our family, from our businesses, and hang out with like-minded people and learn stuff. Yes, it does. But the reason that we do that kind of stuff is because we're committed to the vision that we have, to the life that we want to live, the life we want to provide to those around us in our community. So, there's a lot of people out there, they say that they're interested in getting better, but if you're interested, are you actually taking the actions and doing it and being committed to that life that you say that you want to live?
There's definitely a fine line there. And you and I see this often, is I see people with interest also as people who have potential. And I personally love to pour into people with potential because I have the vision for them of what they can be. And a lot of the time people don't put the action in, and it's unfortunate because they can do such amazing things. But the kind of difference between that interest / potential piece and doing it is the commitment piece of it. And we can only give so much time to people that are interested or that have potential because they need to own it and have commitment themselves. We can't be committed for somebody else.
No, yeah, we can't want it more than they do. And you find that a lot in like the coaching space and stuff like that too, is sometimes that's where frustration gets, starts to build up, is when we're trying to coach and consult people in businesses and say, this is what's possible if you do this, but they're just not taking that step. And so we can't want it more than they do. But we have to understand that and meet them where they are, and then provide them as much guidance and education as we can. And hopefully they'll take the steps in the right spaces. And that's one thing that I had to learn from my coach plenty of time. He couldn't do the work for me, but he gave me a path, and it was upon me to take those steps and start doing that kind of stuff. And when we were talking about the commitment and interest and the life that you want to live, it just like that stuff gets me so excited.
That it's one of those goosebumps things.
Yeah, like just thinking about the potential, because I'm always thinking about that potential that I have and what we're creating in our business and with our life and family and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I know that the small, the thing that I think that a lot of business owners or just people in general, they trip up on is us as humans. We love to complicate things. We love to think that things have to be so extravagant and there has to be all these different things involved with doing that. And that's one reason why I talk about so much about the simple daily habits, the small non-negotiables that you do every single day. Because if we can simplify things down to the smallest form and just do that every single day, like that's where those giant results come in, and that's where you see that life that you want to live, that you're committed to.
One of the things that was talked about at this last trip was on that specifically, and they were actually talking about other business consultants and people in the space, whether it's gurus or somebody else. And the people, you can kind of tell who doesn't know their stuff, because the people who don't know the knowledge or how to teach people are the ones making it complex. They're making things look overly complex so they can look smarter to the people that they're working with, when in reality, it's making it as simple as possible, breaking things down and making them easier than they were, making tasks more automated. It's not about complexity, it's about just making stuff as simple as possible for scale.
Yeah, simplification. If we can break things down, and that's how we create this roadmap or these blueprints on whatever that successful life is. We've talked a lot about vision before, and that's why that's so important, having that vision and then having that purpose. And then what are the little things that we can do every single day? And they sound minuscule and I know lots of times, like it sounds like I'm on repeat talking about drinking water and getting steps in and working out and reading and spending time with my family. Like all that stuff sounds like, oh yeah, just simple little things. But I will tell you, if you focus on doing these things, there's so much clarity that comes to your life then, and you start to see that path, and you start to grow and understand, like, man, what was I thinking before? Like, why did I try to overcomplicate things? Try to, the variety is the spice of life saying that we always used to say, and it's like I eat the same thing every single day. like that's how, because I don't want to make decisions, because I have so many decisions in my life I've got to make all the time. I just know I'm going to eat the same thing, and people say, well, don't you get tired of it? And I'm like, I don't get tired of awesome things and experiences that I get to have all the time. And the reason I do that is because I've simplified so much of my life to just have it automated, really.
All of that is 100% true. And as entrepreneurs, as people wanting to grow and scale our lives, like, decision fatigue does happen. And we can probably talk about that on a different episode, but decision fatigue is when you have so many decisions to make throughout the day that we don't want to make more decisions. And there's times both my wife and I are like, no, you pick. And I'm like, just make a decision, because I don't want to right now. I've made too many already.
Yeah, we've all been in that situation, yeah.
But when you can simplify stuff, it takes the decision process out of it, because it's black and white. It is what it is, because we've already committed to it, and it's already written down or noted somewhere. One of the other things that we kind of talked about on the discipline episode, but commitment and discipline are similar but different. But the thing I wanted to touch on is when you are committed to something, it does not matter what other people think or say about it. And it's very difficult, like, when you first start getting committed and start building that discipline, because you want to please everyone. You don't want to be looked at as the weirdo or doing something that normal people, quote unquote, don't. But when you're committed to it, it does not matter what the outside influences say or think, because it is your commitment to yourself and to your own vision.
Yeah, the normal people, like, man, I've gotten into plenty of conversations about, the normal people, and we talk about the general public, and when you look around, like, if that's what normal is, like, I don't want to be a part of it. And I was a part of it, that's who I used to be, and all the things that we've talked about on these episodes about my transformation, and part of this conversation can kind of go into that calendar and time blocking conversation too, because if you're committed to something, is it on your calendar? We talked about that, kind of with the relationships. Part of that is your family on your calendar. Are you committed to showing up and being present as a husband, as a father, as a spouse? What about your business? Are you committed to your business? Do you have certain days where you do certain things? And that's one thing that I did to simplify my schedule, is just to make sure that I'm not trying to do everything every single day. I simplify it, and I do this and I do that on certain days, and it seems so silly to think about, but that's just how I've been able to find results in my life. And I think there's a lot of people that could be finding results if they stopped overthinking.
Overthinking causes so many issues. Analysis paralysis is really what it comes down to. And what you just described is your level of discipline. And I feel like if people are committed to something, whether they say it or are acting on it, there is a level of discipline that comes along with it. Because if I say I'm committed to losing weight or being at the gym, but I'm not disciplined enough to time block or show up every day or eat correctly, then are you committed to it? Like, there's that flip side of when we talked about core values of, are you just saying them or are you acting on them? And if you're not acting on the commitment that you're talking about, then you're not truly committed to it.
Yeah. I like to equate a lot of things that I learned in the gym. And there's this guy that I've seen in the gym for years, and he's always in there working hard. He's in there, he's pushing himself, he's working hard. But over the past couple of years, he's never really changed. Yeah, he's gotten stronger, but he hasn't really changed his body too much. like he's committed to the gym, but he's not committed to controlling what's on his plate.
You're not talking about me, are you?
No, I'm not talking. No, this is somebody else. But and I you know, I kind of just observe. I'm not the old guy in the gym yet. I'm getting very close to the old guy that just comes up and starts talking to everybody and starts giving them pointers and stuff like that. I'm not him yet. I'm getting dangerously close though. But I'm just I've watched him for a couple of years, and I feel sad. And I have, you know, if he's come up and talked to me once in a while, I'm like, well, what's going on in the kitchen? You know, because he's always talking about, he's like, man, you've lost the weight and done this and that. And I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm committed to this goal of changing my body. And that means not just coming in the gym and pushing myself, but, you know, skipping the desserts and or being intentional about when I can have that stuff, and then, you know, am I going to be a little bit restricted on calories a couple days? If I don't hit the gym, I'm not going to go out and gorge myself, and be smart about that stuff. So and I see people in the gym that go into the gym for years and years and years, but they're still the same version of themselves. And I see that in networking and business all the time too. You know, I networked for so long, the first 5 years when I started my business, and then I took a break because I had to go build the business and hire people and build some systems so it could run without me. And then I got back in the networking, and I saw the same people doing the same things that they were 5 years prior. And it's like, guys, you're not really committed to growth. You're showing up here and using this as a social hour rather than actually building referrals and relationships and growing your business. So I see it in all areas of life.
Maybe the mindset for some people is one of our last episodes, if it's aired yet, is the greatest enemy of a great life is a good life.
Yep. That was our last one. It's already up.
And just with that philosophy, yes, people sound committed. They're showing up, which is part of the effort that needs to go into it. But just like people who show up at their office or at their job and they just do the bare minimum, they're just doing the stuff to get their paycheck, to make sure bills are paid, and to move on to the next day, probably living for the weekend. But it looks committed because there's action being put in, but they just want to do better. They're not truly committed to it. And there's so much distinction, I think, between the people that are committed or who just have this fantasy life about themselves. Because the people that are committed, like you said, you see growth. It's not every day, it's not every week or every month, but when you see them year over year and they keep progressing, they keep adding new employees to their business, they keep being able to spend more time with family, which is top priority, they keep getting in better shape. They might be in their 50s or 60s and they're still lifting as much as guys in their 30s. Those are the committed individuals that continue to make an impact.
Yeah, and that's what I get excited about too. Is I just think about that, and it's like, man, these habits that we're building right now, where are we going to be at in that 5-10 years? And because I know that we're going to keep doing the work, and yeah, doing the work, showing up, but we're also, once we hit something, we're always kind of pushing the goalposts, like I've talked about. And okay, what else is possible? What more is possible? I was having a conversation. Or what day it was, but and it was kind of talking about that idea of we accomplish something, and then it's like lots of people accomplish it and then they're done. Then it's like, oh, well, I did what I said I was going to do.
Time to go home.
Yeah, I lost the 50 pounds, and or I made the however much money, did those things, or I got the car, did this, and then they don't have any more goals. They don't have any more purpose. What do they do? And a lot of the times they just go right back to what they were doing. Because maybe they were committed to get to this. They just weren't committed on what was possible after that.
Or what they were committed to in the short term, they don't want to be committed to long term.
Yeah. That's a powerful thing right there. Is understanding that short term and long term gains and what it is, and it just comes back to the vision.
Yes.
Like it seems like we're like I'm always talking about that because like that's how important it is. Like if you don't have some clarity on that, if you don't have a something that you're working towards, and to me, like, will I ever achieve this grand vision that I have? I don't know, but I know I'm going to work towards it every single day, and that vision is for my family and that's for my business.
Yeah. You also know that if you aren't committed to it and don't put in the action, there's absolutely no chance of it happening.
Yeah.
So
we don't get that lucky.
Yeah. So do you want to be committed to it and at least give it a shot and see what the outcome is versus never having that shot taken at all?
Yeah. Well, they say shoot for the moon, land in the stars.
Yep.
Yeah. While we're getting ready to watch the moon launch over here.
And kind of on the piece of the vision and being committed to it is if you don't have a clear vision or don't know what that looks like for you, sit down and write down some goals, and we'll have a whole different one on setting goals, but figure out what some of your goals look like. It doesn't need to be a 20-year out vision. It could be 6 or 12 months, and then just get committed to that one thing. Figure out what you can do daily or weekly to help you go towards that.
Yeah, and I got so much clarity in, when I said I just wanted to be a better version of myself, and I just started working on that, and I started to get better myself, and I started to educate myself and get new voices in my head, reading books, listening to podcasts, pushing myself in the gym. Then that's when I started to get addicted to these these goals and this growth and that's where I started to be like, okay, well, if I could do this, then what else is possible? And then if I could do this, what else is possible? If I know my numbers in my business, now this is just like a game that I could play. And if I can input $1 here and I get $3 here, why not keep doing that? And just continue to play the game, but then also realize, these are the values that I have, and not making decisions against those, like we talked about our values. And then you got your non-negotiables that you do every single day. Like, I'm just stacking these easy blocks so I can just step.
You're engineering the future you want.
Boom, there we go.
Engineer it. But it comes down to doing the simple things, kind of like we said in the beginning. Do not make it complex. If you truly want to be committed to it, figure out how to be committed to it and make it simple to be committed to. Figure out what the easiest way of doing it. Like, if you're somebody who wants to start reading and learning by a book and you don't like reading, listen to it on audiobooks. Like, there's so many different ways to not use excuses to stay committed on it. If it's too hard to cook at home, there's companies all over the place that send out pre-made meals now. Like, there are solutions for pretty much everything to help you be committed.
Oh yeah. And we're in the day and age of AI now. So, like, literally, if you don't know something, you just ask AI and it gives you some sort of good information. Not everything's good that comes out of it, but it gives you a pretty good blueprint, or at least if you prompt it well. So, yeah, it's just, but then that comes again, people just, well, it can't be that easy, right? It just can't be that easy, Chase.
The secret is that there is no secret.
Yeah.
It's being committed, having the vision, doing the work. Like, a lot of the pieces of everything that we talk about on the different episodes, none of it is complex. None of it is a secret. It's just being able to put all of those pieces into your vision and start living that way.
Yeah. So, so your trip, I want to kind of dive in that just a little bit more. So kind of what were the things that, built to
Built to Exit.
Yes. So, kind of giving me a little bit more information, just what that program is about. I know that that the leader of that, he's Exit a lot, and he's just training other people to come into his organization, or how's that work?
Yeah. So Built to Exit, it's a amazingly thought out business plan, essentially, for business consultants. And there's kind of different levels of it, like base camp, ground zero. You're walking into a business and you don't know anything about it. We have Scan and Aim, where we can take a high level look at your financials and figure out where you're currently at. We can do Aim, which is figuring out what your 12 months ahead look like and how we get there. But the goal with Built to Exit is to, over a 2 to 3 year period, take you from where you're currently at to the ability to exit. And if you don't want to sell, you don't have to, because in our eyes, the exit is removing you as day-to-day owner operations. Business is churning out 7-8 figures a year, and you have the time freedom. If you want to exit, cool. But we've put the systems and processes and people and everything in place that if you did want to exit, everything's in this one folder to take over to a private equity company, and it checks all of their boxes. Because part of what I've seen in my experience as business broker and consultant is that if I asked you for everything a private equity firm would want to buy your company, you don't have 50% of it. You don't know where 20% of it's at. And we just want to prep you to be able to exit as easily and smoothly as possible.
So you're refining and adding more skills to your already full resume.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. And all that's doing is just helping you provide better service to your clients and your team. No, I love that. And that's one thing I love about, being a business owner too, is being able to find different opportunities to pour into my people too. And so we're always learning, we're always growing, there's always another level.
There's always more to be committed to. What should we give for a takeaway or any thoughts on this one?
Well, for me, a lot of it is I think about looking at your calendar and does your calendar show, are you interested in this? Are you interested in living this life, or are you committed to it? So make sure that whatever it is that you want to do, like I said, if you're looking to lose some weight, if you're looking to increase the revenue in your business, if you're looking to create a stronger relationship, whatever that is, really look at it and be like, okay, am I showing up every single day doing something to get better at this, or am I just doing it when it's easy and when it's convenient? That's a lot of things. Is people do things when it's convenient, not just when they're supposed to do it all the time. So look at that, and then and pick something out of there, and then say, okay, I'm going to put this on my calendar, whether it's daily, whether it's 3-4 times a week, whatever that is, and stick with it. Stick with it for 90 days. It takes about 90 days to really build a habit, and that sticks with you. And then once that 90 day, we just got done with quarter one. So this quarter two, what is it that you want to get better at? Maybe it's understanding your numbers in your business. So maybe you need to be looking at your P&L every single day and see where those numbers land. And then at the end of the month, then you'd be like, okay, how do I re-engineer this? Where am I spending? Where can I cut costs and all that kind of stuff? So that's kind of what my takeaway would be.
One of the things to add to that has helped me out is actually get either a pen or pencil and a piece of paper. Whatever you are committed to, start writing down things about it, whatever you're trying to achieve, because you can speak it out loud, you can type it, you can see it, and you can physically write it. And the more of those things you're duplicating, the more it ingrains and becomes habit for you to stay committed to easier.
Oh, I like that. Write it down, put it into the universe, and if you're committed to it, you'll achieve it.
Yes.
All right.
I
Well,
think that's a good summary of staying committed. Live the life you're committed to, not the life that you just want and hope for.
that's right. Well, thanks for joining us on another edition of the Consistency Engine podcast. I'm Dane Patton with Chase Collier. Have a good day.